Duelist of the Iron Crown by Drakey C. Chapter 11, Master of the Magicians vs. Trixie, Part 2. Twilight life points, 4025. Trixie life points, 6300. Dusk had set in as Twilight faced Trixie in the parking lot of Canterlot High. Trixie drew and looked over her hand, giving Twilight a moment to examine her dual display. My medium crystal won't survive this turn, not with only 575 attack points left. But I expected that when I commanded the attack. Twilight looked between the delicate blue-clad fairy and her other monster, white wings folded on its back and arms crossed. More important right now is Helios. I have to keep it in play. I need its ability to replenish my hand if I'm going to stand a chance. She bit her lip. I might have managed to come back so far, but a misplay could still ruin it for me. Trixie, you shall not suffer any insults no longer. She flung her hand out, sending her cape billowing behind her. I summon Berry Magician Girl and activate her ability! The baby maze held up its hand and sent a pulse of light over Trixie's deck. Trixie can now add any Magician Girl monster from her deck to her hand. And next, Trixie pointed across the field. Apple Magician Girl, attack Harmony Spirit Magnetic Crystallium! Apple raised her wand and fired a beam of red light across the field. Gem stars encircling Magnanimity superheated and exploded as her hologram shattered. Twilight life points, 3350. Trixie sets one card. It switches Lemon Magician Girl to defense. That ends her turn. Twilight nodded and drew. My turn again. She looked at her new card discarded. I discard Harmony Spirit Draco to activate Harmony Gem, letting me draw 2 cards. Twilight drew her cards and tapped on her dual screen. Next, I activate Harmony Fusion in the graveyard. By returning Magnanimity Crystallium in the graveyard to my extra deck, I return Harmony Fusion to my hand. Twilight held it up into the air. I activate it now! From my hand, I fuse Harmony Spirit Pietas with Harmony Spirit Malice on the field! The familiar form of Pietas descended behind Twilight. Boots and gloves with lightning bolt patterns covered her hands and feet. A ring-shaped cloud hovered in the air behind her wings, lightning shooting through the center. I fuse and summon Harmony Spirit Pietas Fullman! Attack points 2300, defense points 1500. The crowd's cheers for Twilight grew in volume again as he held up Pietas' card. Additionally, since I sent Pietas from my hand to the graveyard, the effect of my Harmony Castle spell triggers, summoning Pietas to the field. The slightly smaller, less armored fairy appeared in a show of lightning and raindrops next to Pietas Fullman. Pumped his fist as it made eye contact. Twilight held out her hand. Helios! Attack Berry Magician Girl! Helios held up his hands and caused an orb of fire. Trixie activates Berry's effect. Berry switches to defense mode, and then another Magician Girl monster is added to her hand. Trixie's card ejected to her dual desk as she snatched it up, but my attack continues. Helios fired the orb of fire as Berry as the baby kneeled and held up his hands. The flames consumed it and dispersed to reveal only a charred wand that dissolved into the light. Helios' effect activates, adding Harmony Spirit Magnanimity to my hand. So I flipped her card over and discarded it. I activate Magnanimity's effect now, sending it to the graveyard to reveal the top of my deck. Twilight looked at her card and frowned. It's a trap card, Harmony's Song, so it gets returned to the deck. She set the card back down, and the deck's all silver triggered. Well, that accomplished a lot, Trixie muttered. Actually, it did, Twilight smiled. Discarding a Harmony Spirit triggered the effects of Pietas Fullman and Pietas. Now, Pietas Fullman can attack all the monsters on your side of the field once this turn, and Pietas can attack twice. Go ahead, Trixie snapped. The second any of them so much as looks at my monsters, I'll use their effects to redirect their attacks and sap their attack strength. No, you won't. Twilight pressed the command on her dual disc screen, and a card ejected from her graveyard. I activate the effect of Harmony Spirit Malice in the graveyard. By shuffling Malice into the deck, I can select one Harmony Spirit monster on my side of the field. This turn, when it attacks, you're forbidden from activating any cards or effects. I choose Pietas! Trixie pealed. Good! Twilight pointed across the field. Pietas, take out her 2 magicians! Pietas flapped its wings and flew across the field. A spinning kick sent Apple Magician Girl flying away. The momentum turned Pietas to slam a fist into Lemon Magician Girl. The 2 mazes exploded with pixelated pixels of light. Trixie life points 6100. Now that you don't have any spellcaster monsters at play, your Magician's defense effect is ended, so you take full damage from my direct attack. Twilight point. Pietus Fulman, lightning surge! Pietus Fulman held his hands out, and streams of magical energy gathered in front of it. A beam of lightning shot across the field, as Trixie raised her arms to shield herself. Dink! Trixie life points, 3,800. The holographic electricity faded as Trixie flung her arms away. You'll regret that! I'll see. For now, I end my turn. I draw! Trixie drew her hand and laughed. Perfect! She looked across the field at Twilight, then reached into her duelist screen. I activate the face-down card, Magician's Navigation. A swirling vortex of dark energy appeared in the air behind Trixie. Sparks flying from the edge. This, it lets me summon a particular monster from my hand. Then I can also special summon any dark attribute spellcaster monster, level 7 or lower, from my deck. Trixie's card ejected from the deck, and she drew it up with another card from her hand. I summon the most powerful magicians of all! Come forth, Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl! The vortex lit up as a tall, slender maze of dark black and purple armor flew out, Kate flying out behind him. A long green staff appeared in his hand, and he twirled it before pointing it across the field at Twilight. Do I need to say his attack points? You guys know this. I mean, you've seen the show. You know his power. Fine. Attack points, 2,500. Defense points, 2,100. Behind him, a female mage in bright blue and pink armor followed him, a golden blue wand in her hand. She spun in place, her pink cape and blonde hair falling in the air, landing next to the first magician. Attack points, 2,000. Defense points, 1,700. The crowd applauded as Trixie held up her next card. And now, Twilight Sparkle, prepare yourself for Trixie's final play. I activate the spell card, Dark Burning Magic! Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl held their staffs into the air. The tips overlaid as a field of dark purple magic began to grow at the junction, ripples of energy pulsing from it. When Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl are both on my side of the field, I can just use this card to destroy all cards on your field! So I guess, no! Yes! Trixie grinned, pointing across the field. Kill my magicians! Obliterate everything she has! The two mages cried out in unison and swung their staves down. A shockwave of dark magic shot across the field. Twilight's monsters shattered as it struck them. The massive blast raced past Twilight. It struck the foundation of the crystal behind her. She turned and watched as Harmony Castle cracked apart. It crumbled to the ground in a wave of dust. Trixie laughed. Ha ha! Victory is mine! Dark Magician, attack! She paused as the dust settled on Twilight's field, revealing Harmony Spirit Pietas kneeling in front of her. Trixie growled, Hell! I destroyed everything you have! Twilight put her hand to her chest and took a breath. Yes, he did, Trixie. And in doing so, you triggered the final effect of Pietas Fulman. When it gets destroyed, I can revive the original Pietas in my graveyard. Since you destroyed them both at once, Pietas is ready to return! Trixie snorted. It won't be there for long. Dark Magician Girl! Dark Burning Attack! Dark Magician Girl held out her hand. A wave of dark magic washed over Pietas. The fairy groaned and exploded to a fireball. Dark Magician! Dark Magic Attack! Another orb of purple magic grew at the tip of Dark Magician's staff. He swung it out of Twilight. They were flying into the air and exploding. Twilight life points, 850. Trixie ends her turn again. Trixie crossed her arms and smirked. No matter how hard you beat Trixie down, she'll always rise up again. The crowd cheered and called Trixie's name in response to the taunt. Twilight chuckled and shook her head. You could drop the act, Trixie. Trixie frowned. What act? You're having fun. Of course I am! Trixie sniffed and tossed her hair. I'm beating an opponent to the dirt. Trixie can't imagine anything more satisfying. Sure you can. Twilight smiled softly as Trixie posed. You're a magician, Trixie. What fun is there for an audience if there's no element of risk in the trick? Trixie recoiled at the words and scowled. You're trying to trick me. No, I'm not. I just think if we're going to duel, you should enjoy it. And not just because you like winning. Victory is most thrilling when you're facing an opponent who pushes you to your limits. Twilight smiled deepened. Trust me, I've learned that very well today. She drew her card and added it to her hand. I think it's time for you to learn the same. I activate the spell card, Harmony Fruit, and use it to return Harmony Spirit's Pietas and Magnanimity in my graveyard to my hand. Then, I discard Harmony Spirit Ventus and activate its ability. A tiny orange Trixie with stunted wings and purple hair appeared in front of Twilight. Its wings beat up a gale in front of her. By discarding Pietas from my hand, I can revive a Harmony Spirit in my graveyard. Return to me, Harmony Spirit Pietas Fullman! The Westcoast Fury reappeared in the midst of a gale, rumbling thunder and clouds. Next, I summon Harmony Spirit Magia. Then I activate the spirit of Harmony Spirit Draco in the graveyard. When Magia is on the field, I can revive Draco, but it returns to my deck and leaves the field. A purple guard Fury appeared, and held a hand to his side. A small plume of green fire rose next to her, and faded to reveal a fairy-like purple dragon, with green friends running up his head. Attack points 700, defense points 100. Next, Twilight's leg spikes drop. You've got to be kidding me. I activate the effect of Harmony Fusion in the graveyard. Return Helios to my deck. To return Harmony Fusion to my hand. Twilight picked up her card up and held it out. Finally, I reveal Harmony Spirit Draco's special ability. When I conduct a fusion summon of Harmony Spirit monster, I can treat Draco as any Harmony Spirit I choose. Pink aura lit up around the dragon, as Twilight slid her spell card into her duel disc. Treating Draco as Harmony Spirit Recius, I activate Harmony Spirit Fusion and fuse Draco on the field with Magnanimity in my hand. A giant blue balloon swelled from the ground in front of Twilight and burst open. Within stood a pink fairy in a long pink and blue dress. Gloves of boots on its limbs, decorated with swirls and sprinkles. A dozen of balloons in yellow, pink, and blue were tied to its back, spread out to the air behind it. A large silvery blue cannon barrel rose over his right shoulder. I fusion summon Harmony Spirit Recius. Attack points 2,000. Defense points 1,200. Trixie snorted. So what? And none of your monsters can overpower my Dark Magician. I'm not done yet, Trixie. Twilight held her last card up. I have one card left in my hand. I activate the effect of Pietas. Discard it. Letting Magia attack directly this turn. Trixie laughed. 1,500 damage? Trixie can take it. You'll have to do better than that. I will. Recius Farah's special ability. Twilight held up her hand, and Recius Farah lit up in pink light. When I discard a Harmony Spirit monster, the effect of Recius Farah activates, letting me negate the effects of one card on the field. Twilight pointed. I choose your Magician's Defense! Recius Farah smirked, as the cannon barrel on its back shifted, and dropped down over his shoulder. It glowed and fired a sparkling pink projectile across the field. It struck the hologram of Trixie's card, and burst into confetti as Trixie dulled in the coloration. Then, since I discarded the Harmony Spirit, Pietas Fullman can attack all monsters on your side of the field this turn! Twilight reached her discard slot and withdrew a card. Finally, I activate the effect of Harmony Spirit Ventus in the graveyard. By returning it to the deck, one Harmony Spirit I control gains 800 attack points for the rest of this turn! Trixie gasped, her eyes went wide. Around them, the tears of the students began again. Pietas Fullman, attack Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl! Pietas Fullman. Attack points 2,300. Now 3,100. Fired 2 bolts of lightning across the field. Sparks flew for Trixie's 2 magicians as they exploded. Trixie's life points 2,100. Recius Fulla, attack! Trixie stared as the cannon glowed and fired another blast of energy at her. The attack exploded at her feet. Trixie life points 100. One attack left. Twilight waited as the smoke cleared. Well. Trixie took a breath and closed her eyes. Head held low. She looked across the field at Twilight, then up at the hologram of Harmony Spirit Magia. Trixie! Twilight paused as the crowd began to call out for her, along with a couple of boos directed at Twilight. Trixie looked among the crowd, their cries growing as she made eye contact. Do you fear for Trixie? Trixie flung her cape out behind her and took her head off to the crowd. Do not dare look away, my followers, for Trixie is about to achieve the greatest escape any magician has ever attempted. The crowd's disappointed turned to elation again, as Trixie turned to Twilight, flung her hand out towards her. Do not dally any further, Twilight Sparkle. Give Trixie the send-off she deserves. Twilight nodded and smiled. You got it. Harmony Spirit Magia, attack Trixie directly! Magia moved his hands through the air. Trixie got a 6-pointed star of pink light. The star's points followed energy to the center, and Magia slammed her hands down it, sending a beam of magic across the field. Trixie turned her head up and closed her eyes as it struck her. A burst of smoke erupting around her. Dink! Trixie life points? 0. The holograms faded, but the smoke continued to rise. Twilight ran up to where Trixie had stood and waved away the smoke. The ground was empty. Spike sighed so I "We killed her!" Twilight gently told him with her boot. "Don't be ridiculous." She must have just wanted to pull off a cool exit. Spike looked around and tugged on Twilight's sock. "Yep." Twilight glanced down and turned to where Spike was looking. A familiar purple cloak vanished around the corner of the school. Twilight rolled her eyes and smiled. Suddenly, a flock of students descended on Twilight. She gasped and shrank back as the crowd stopped in a circle around her. "You're amazing, Twilight!" "You're more powerful than Flower Century!" "Twilight, will you sign my duel disc?" "Twilight, do you think you'll be able to beat the other finalists?" Twilight gasped at the last question she could make out quickly. "The others?" "Yes. Don't worry, folks. Twilight's able to do this because she is voiced by Don Green." It didn't take long to find another duel going on. Crowds of students made it obvious. Twilight reached one such crowd and pushed her way to the front. "Excuse me, pardon me." She reached to the front and paused. Flash was facing off against a girl with pale blue skin and white hair with streaks of blue. An unfamiliar gem knight in gold armor stood on Flash's side of the field, while his opponent's side was empty. Twilight activated her duel disc and found the spectator function sleeve about shown her. Flash had 4,800 life points, while his opponent, a girl named Ember Draconia, had 1,600. Flash set 2 cards on the field, while Ember had none. "I draw!" Ember drew her card and held it out. "I activate Dark Factory of Mass Production, which allows me to return 2 normal monsters from my graveyard to my hand." Wow, this is the first time Ember has ever shown up on this show. And she's in human mode. Ember's card slid out of her duel disc, and she held one of them out. "I activate the monster in my hand, revealing a Blue Eyes White Dragon in my hand. I special summon Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon." The ground shook as a pillar of light erupted from behind Ember. A massive silver and blue dragon flew out, lines of energy glowing along its body. Stopped in the air above Ember and roared. Attack points 3,000. Defense points 2,500. The crowd cheered as Ember thrust her hand forward. "I activate my monster's special ability. Once per turn, I can destroy 1 monster on the field. I choose your Gem Knight!" The dragon opened its mouth, and a crackling field of electricity formed between the 2 cards. "I reveal my face-down card, Diffusion." Flash's card set up to her feet rose up and glowed, the light engulfing its monster. "This returns Gem Knight Topaz to my extra deck, and revives its fusion material monsters in its place. Come back to me, Gem Knight Tourmaline and Gem Knight Sapphire." Flash's monsters, armored in yellow and blue, appeared, kneeling in the field. "With Topaz removed from the field, your ability has no target and is nullified." Ember smiled. "It won't do much good." She raised her hand and flipped it over to show her cards. "I activate the spell card, Polarization." The crowd's cheers grew into a roar as Ember slid her cards into the discard slot. "I fuse Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon on the field with the 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons in my hand." Another column of light surrounded her. Her dragon. It flew up into the clouds, along with 2 orbs of white light from her dual disc. Ember punched her fist in the air. "I summon Nia Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon!" The walls overhead rumbled and flashed. With a rush of wind, they split open, revealing a gigantic silver dragon with 3 heads. Its wings slowly flapped as it descended behind Ember, piercing on the roof of the skull behind her. The dragon's heads looked down at Flash, and now roar in unison. Attack points 4,500. Defense points 3,800. "Just look at the size of that thing," Twilight whispered, dragon's shout falling over the crowd behind her. Spike shuddered and ducked behind her legs, right behind her boot. Ember pointed across the field. "Neo, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon! Attack Tourmaline! Neutron Cannon!" The dragon's main head opened its mouth and summoned a large orb of lightning in its jaw. A beam of electrical energy shot across the field and slanted into Flash's monster, creating a column of smoke as it exploded. Ember reached into her dual disc. "I now activate my dragon special ability. I send a second copy of my dragon from the extra deck to the graveyard, and can attack again." Another Blue Eyes' head fired a blast of lightning, blowing up Gem Sapphire. I activate the effect once more and set Blue Eyes twin bursts of dragon from the extra deck to declare a third track directly on you. The smoke cleared to allow Flash to look directly up as the yellow dragon's third head launched his attack. Lightning Flash consumed Flash in a blaze of silver and yellow light. Ember lowered her disc. I'm only allowed to use my dragon's ability twice per turn, and when my attack's done, I end my turn. Twilight looked at her display to see Flash's life points rapidly lower, stopping at 300. Amazing. She could wipe him out next turn. Flash looked up at the dragon and reached out to take the card from his desk. He looked at it and smiled. Great move, but it won't be enough. He draws his card out. I activate the spell card, Brilliant Fusion! This allows me to conduct a fusion summon using monsters in my deck, but its attack power is set to 0. Flash's card ejected from his deck and swiftly discarded them. I send to the graveyard Gem Knight Garnet and Gem Knight Amber. The fusion summon Gem Knight Ruby. The remnant armored knight swept onto Flash's field with a whirlwind of red gem dust. Its polearm swung over his shoulder. Attack points 0. Defense points 1300. Flash smiled. Now to stay set for my face down card. Activate Fragment Fusion! This lets me conduct a fusion summon using Gem Knights in my graveyard. Flash held his hands up. The specters of 3 Gem Knights appeared in the air above him. I banish Gem Knights Tourmaline, Amber, and Sapphire. The fusion summon Gem Knight Lady Brilliant Diamond! A brilliant shot of blue-white crystal rose behind Flash and shattered. A silver-armored warrior woman with diamonds stunning her armor stood in the ruins of crystal, swung out a sword to disperse the rest of it. Attack points 3,400. Defense points 2,000. Flash lifted Ruby's card from his dual disc. I activate Lady Brilliant Diamond's special ability and send Gem Knight Ruby to the graveyard to special summon any Gem Knight monster I want from my extra deck. I call forth Gem Knight Master Diamond! Another star crystal grew and exploded, revealing a massive knight silver armor with a large broadsword. 7 gems in different colors embedded in the blade. Attack points 2,900. Defense points 2,500. Ember sniffed. Impressive, but neither of them is strong enough to vanquish my dragon. Not yet. Flash held up Ruby's card. I activate Master Diamond's special ability by banishing a Gem Knight fusion monster in the graveyard. Master Diamond can copy its effects. I banish Gem Knight Ruby and activate its effect. I attribute Lady Brilliant Diamond and add all her attack power to Master Diamond. What? Ember's jaw dropped. Master Diamond took on a glowing red aura and held up its sword. Lady Brilliant Diamond turned into a white light and flew into the blade, the gemstones on the side lighting up in a rainbow of energy. Master Diamond roared and swung the sword through the air. Energy pulsates around it. Attack points 2,900. Now 6,300. Flash pointed up at Ember's monster. Master Diamond, show Ember what knights do to dragons! Attack Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon! Diamond, Blade, Strike! Master Diamond hefted its sword behind it and ran forward, the ground tearing up under his boots. It leapt up and sliced, the massive blade trimming a trail of light in the air as it cleaved to the dragon's neck. Neo Blade's hides fell from its body and dissolved into particles of light as its body collapsed and exploded, blowing Ember's hair and clothes down from behind the blast. Twilight's display clicked Ember's life points to 0 and parted her Flash. Ember lowered her dual disc and stared up at Master Diamond as it landed in front of her. Such power. Hey. Ember turned her attention towards Flash and approached her. You're pretty good. Flash held out a fist and smiled. Ember returned to Chester and bumped her fist against his. As expected of Flash Sentry. Twilight stepped forward to approach and stopped as other observers ran past her. The crowd gathered around Flash, Ember stepping out of the way. Twilight chuckled as Flash vented off the fans at a scene all too familiar. The celebrations paused as the crowd went silent at a flash of light from the side. Twilight turned her head and saw a massive pillar of fire rising into the sky from elsewhere in the school grounds. The fires dispersed, and she heard a distant cry of another crowd. Another duel had been won. Twilight clenched her fist. She somehow felt like she didn't have to ask who it was. Attention, students! Celestia's voice came out from the speaker system. All duels have been concluded. Your top 8 duelists have been decided. A holographic display popped into the air from an emitter Twilight couldn't see, mounted elsewhere on the school wall. As Celestia spoke, the corresponding portraits flipped up onto display. Announcing your core finalists, Jack on Apple, Rainbow Dash, Verity Bell, Twilight Sparkle, Flash Sentry, Gabriella Black, Spitfire Slipstream, and Sunset Shimmer. The students applauded as the 8 portraits blinked away and disappeared. We will announce formal matchups tomorrow at 9 a.m., with duels that take place at 10 a.m. For now, students, good night and see you tomorrow. Twilight took a breath. If we include Flash, 4 of my friends made it to the finals. The odds are in favor of one of us to face Sunset either this round or the next. Twilight looked at Flash, talking to his fans. We need to talk to him. Make sure we can count on support. Hey, Twilight! Twilight turned to see a familiar face walking up to her. Rainbow Dash? Rainbow Dash nodded and looked away, rubbing the back of her head. Behind her, Scootaloo was standing with her arms crossed and eyes to the ground. Fluttershy slowly stepped up to her, hands clasped over her front. I'm sorry you didn't make it to the finals, Twilight, she whispered. Twilight smiled and reached out to pat Fluttershy's shoulder. It's okay. I know you tried your best. That means a lot to me. Fluttershy told me you stood up to Sunset Shimmer, Rainbow said, looking back at her. I appreciate that. Thanks. Someone had to. Rainbow winced at the words and nodded. Yeah. She said you needed help taking out Sunset and getting that crown? I do. Twilight nodded. It's a long story. But whoever wins tomorrow, I need the actual crown. I told her Applejack and Mary are agreeing to help. Fluttershy spoke up. Rainbow rolled her eyes. Look, I got some stuff to take care of on my end, okay? Been thinking about stuff lately. You mean Scootaloo? Twilight went down to look at the younger girl. Scootaloo raised her head around the sound of her name. Yeah, Rainbow shook her head. We sort of been having a talk, you know. A lot of students take this tournament pretty seriously, and I've been acting like a bitch. Rainbow turned to glare at Scootaloo. Watch your mouth! Your dad will think you learned that from me. I did! Scootaloo stuck her tongue out. Rainbow rolled her eyes and turned back to Twilight. I was taking the kid at Fluttershy to Sugar Cube Cafe for a bit to eat. Wanted to know if you wanted to come with. Have a chat about Sunset. Twilight smiled and nodded. Count me in.